welcome to another edition of Dan Frequently Asked Questions. In this edition, we're going to be discussing the difference between cigarette smoke and vaping on diving. Keep watching. We got a question from a diver asking whether cigarette smoke versus vaping had different effects on oxygen and carbon dioxide and health in general. I'm going to refer you back to an article by Dr. Cecilia Roberts on the issue of vaping, and I'll just summarize it by saying that if you can't quit smoking but you can move to vaping, then vaping is probably better than smoking, simply because it takes some of the elements of smoking that are also harmful out of the equation. However, if you aren't a smoker, I would not encourage you to start vaping as opposed to smoking cigarettes, because vaping in and of itself is not entirely without dangers and complications. There have been scarring of the lungs and various studies indicating that vaping is not entirely benign, and so some of the consequences that we attribute to smoking still occur if you vape. So in summary, if you can't quit smoking, vaping is at least safer than smoking. But if you aren't a smoker, don't start vaping because you think that's safe. Having said all that, because vaping isolates what you inhale to essentially pure nicotine, whereas smoking includes various other products, as I recall, about 140 different chemicals that you inhale, its overall impact on health is clearly greater than that which vaping causes. However, there are some elements that are entrained as a result of vaping that do have an effect on the lungs and their safety or their physiology. And as opposed to the oxygen delivery, what we know as far as anything that causes hypoxia in the lungs, it tends to cause vasoconstriction, and as a result, there would be a reduction of blood flow through the lungs, and there would also be an effect on the peripheral circulation. So there would be a reduction of circulation in various parts of the body, and that certainly would affect the levels of oxygen. As far as carbon dioxide is concerned, that usually is independent related to that, and unless you have a significant amount of carbon monoxide on hemoglobin, it won't really affect the elimination of carbon dioxide as a result of red cell circulation through the lungs. Although we did mention there will be some impact on the circulation through the lungs, but on a typical dive and diving excursion, that is unlikely to be significant. So I hope that's given you some of the possibilities to think about. And again, please remember, if you can, quit everything, smoking or vaping. If you can't quit smoking, vaping's better than smoking, but don't start vaping if you're not a smoker. And with that, I'll end, and until next time, stay fine.